This video is sponsored by Atlas VPN. I feel like a universal thought that everyone had as a kid was that we always dreamt about the future. Maybe kids back then, they wanted to see the future that they saw in Back to the Future 2. You know, that version of 2015 with the hoverboards and the self-lacing shoes, all that cool stuff. But growing up as a Power Rangers fan, my future wasn't in 2015, it was actually in 2025, the year of the Space Patrol Delta. It had holograms, time traveling, aliens and humans living together, and of course, many different teams of Power Rangers. So as we see the show evolve throughout the years in present day, and as we get closer to 2025, ideally we should be seeing some of the stuff we saw in SPD in the main Power Rangers universe. But not really much has happened. Is there a reason for that? And if so, did an apocalypse have to happen so this can be possible? Let's talk about it. Yo, what's up everybody, it's Este here and welcome back to another video, and you're tuned in to a brand new episode of Power Rangers Theory, where I explain many different theories and mysteries in the Power Rangers universe and give you my thoughts. And in this episode, I'll be talking about how SPD and RPM might be possibly in the same universe. Hear me out, guys. I think with the tech that we saw in both RPM and SPD, I think both seasons may be linked more than we initially thought. I'm gonna get to that in a second, but 1,500 likes and I'll do more videos just like this one, because there's so many mysteries and thoughts and ideas and predictions that I have on the Power Rangers universe, and I can't wait to tell you all of them. Also, if you're not subscribed, hey, I'm Este. Nice to meet you. Subscribe and ring the notification bell to join the E Squad today, the best fan base in all of Power Rangers YouTube. I love you guys to death. I upload Power Rangers videos every single week, and I'm sure you don't want to miss some more theories, mysteries, explain all of that. You can find them right here. So let's jump right into it. So here's what we know so far. Power Rangers SPD takes place in the year 2025, where Earth has opened up its doors to allow alien beings from distant planets to live together with humans. Commander Anubis Doggy Kruger leads the SPD Academy and trains his cadets to become the next generation of Power Rangers to protect the Earth against the evil Emperor Grum and his Trubian Empire. And of course, the newest group of heroes at the Academy was of course the team not that everyone knows about. They were the B Squad, and they became the Power Rangers SPD, Space Patrol Delta. I mean, I guess the A Squad was also SPD Rangers because they were under SPD. The naming is weird, alright, but you get what I'm saying. That of course was in the year 2025, but meanwhile, about a few decades back, supposedly, in another universe, Dr. K would invent the Vengex virus, which attacked and destroyed most of the human population with his robot army, converting a few people actually into becoming machine and human hybrids. You know, just like Dylan and the Black Ranger and Tenaya 7, you know, that robot villain thing. I love that. The remaining humans have survived under the domed city of Corinth, which is protected by the Ranger Operators, which I love that name, by the way. They always had a different name for things in that different universe of RPM. They're like, they're not Power Rangers, they're Ranger Operators, and they don't have a roll call. Did anyone notice that? I found that weird. The season ends with Vengex being defeated. Honestly, did you really think that something different was gonna happen? Like he was gonna destroy the domed city or whatever? Not even a Is this a spoiler alert? You should have watched the season by now. And the humans begin to repopulate the rest of the Earth, with a few flowers and signs of life being seen along the way. Now, in first glance, there's a lot of stuff similar to both SPD and RPM, specifically with technology. We had Anubis Doggy Kruger. He was the commander of SPD and all this different life forms. He had Cat with him. They had a dog that could transform into a blaster. Like, it was honestly so cool. Then we have obviously the RPM universe and Dr. K's technology. She, of course, created the Vengex virus, one of the biggest villains in Power Rangers history. But of course, she created the Ranger Operator series. She created a Zord system that combined together to make a 12 Zord Megazord thing. I love it. And of course, she has all these different weapons that the Rangers have that can combine together. Dr. K is literally a genius, and so are the people that made SPD many years in the future. But my theory today is I think that SPD takes place in the RPM universe. This theory has been talked about for many years on Reddit and of course different YouTube videos, but I really think it's possible. Because throughout SPD's initial airing, we have been influenced as an audience that it takes place in the exact same universe as the rest of the Power Rangers history. For example, we have the anti-hero, anti-villain, sidekick thing, Piggy being shown in Power Rangers Mystic Force, kind of like in a prequel sense, because Mystic Force technically takes place in the past in like 2006. So, you know, Piggy was alive back then. He's like, oh, aliens are gonna live together. He manifested it. Then, of course, we have Bridge that was seen in Operation Overdrive Once Ranger, which I did a whole video about. That was a crazy special. Underrated, by the way. Go watch it. And, of course, we had other things, like we had SPD and Super Mega Force, which means that the SPD Rangers time travel, which they do a lot in the series, as we see them team up with the Power Rangers Dino Thunder. And that team, of course, has Dr. Thomas Oliver, aka Tommy Oliver, the original Green Ranger, White Ranger, blah blah, Red Zeo, Red Turtle. I made a video about Tommy. Go watch it. But the point is, Tommy is a main character and he connects the Dino Thunder Rangers and the SPD Rangers by mutualness to the rest of the Power Rangers universe. So we, the audience, think like, hey, it's in the same universe, everything is connected. But we see in different Power Ranger forms of being like the Boom Studios comics that the Power Rangers universe can kind of split in different timelines, so different events can happen in different places in time, which is what an alternate timeline is. The biggest example being the Coinless universe, which branches off Tommy deciding to be evil himself after losing Rita Repulsa's spell as the Green Ranger, later on becoming Lord Draken. So it could be possible that after the events of Power Rangers Jungle Fury, there may have been a chain of events that caused a different timeline where the RPM universe goes off of. So basically there is one version of the universe where Venjix was created and there was one where there wasn't. Either way, Venjix kind of found his way in both universes, as we saw him later on as Evox and Power Rangers Beast Morphers. This could be the explanation of everything happening before RPM still be valid, like how Dino Thunder was in the past at the time and how Bridge was the future SPD Ranger at the time during Operation Overdrive. So when the Venjix virus got created and the timeline got split in a way, Bridge no longer became the future SPD Red Ranger in that universe. Instead, switching over to the RPM universe where SPD would take place later on in that time, where he became part of the SPD team of Rangers, the B Squad. Thinking about it though, being real with you guys, I think Dr. K really messed up when she made the Venjix virus, you know, splitting the timeline two different paths with this big virus that took over the world's computers, internet, the services, everything, when in reality she only needed one device, so none of this could have happened, that being a VPN. And that brings us to the sponsor of today's video, Atlas VPN. In today's modern age, internet safety gets more important with each day. So one of the most essential tools that we need as humans are VPNs, and that's why we have Atlas VPN. How this works is your internet traffic is sent through Atlas VPN. They do all the decryption magic, giving you a new IP and DNS address so that your data as well as your location are protected, giving you the extra layer of security that you need. But the service actually does more than that. It even helps you stay safe by blocking malicious links, ads, and trackers as well. It even can save you a little bit of money, you know, finding you some deals on airplane tickets, hotel stays, and a lot more. One of my favorite features on Atlas VPN is actually the data breach monitor, which tells you if your email address and online accounts are associated with any of those online breaches. So it keeps more than your internet browsing safe, it keeps your internet identity safe as well. You can also connect to a multitude of servers overseas, like in the UK, to watch region locked content. And that's all in the blazing fast speeds that they provide. Now, one subscription is all you need because you can have access to unlimited devices with your Atlas VPN membership. Now, right now, Atlas VPN is giving a huge discount to all the E-Squad members out there watching. And this means you can get a 3-year subscription to Atlas VPN for just $1, that's right, $1.39 a month. And trust me guys, they are so sure that you're gonna like this deal that they even have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Now, this deal won't last forever though, so click the first link in the description down below to protect your internet identity today with Atlas VPN. Let's get back on topic. Now, I do want to mention that Super Mega Force kind of ruined things in this theory. I think it kind of ruins everything in the Power Rangers universe, and that event, of course, is the legendary battle, where we see Power Rangers of all different time and space and universes, and of course, SPD and RPM were both part of the battle. But I would consider that the morphing grid just being able to literally connect to many different Ranger teams, no matter if they're in the same universe or timeline or not. That's why we saw, like, new powers or whatnot. I made a video, that's an unsolved mystery. Those Sentai teams, yeah, they showed up too. Now, there's so many different references to SPD in all types of forms in Power Rangers media throughout the years, like in Soul of the Dragon, you know, SPD was part of Tommy Oliver's, you know, son's storyline. And of course, we had Hyperforce, where SPD kind of also played its own part as well. So the timeline is a little weird with the Boom Studio comics and whatever, but they're like its own thing in a way. Maybe a few events, of course, were mirrored in the different timelines and universes. Now, as the real-time Power Rangers timeline gets closer to 2025, one would think that naturally we would see the stuff that we saw saw in that universe trickle into the main timeline, like the aliens, the technology, etc. But we don't see that at all. One of the only times we would see technology similar to SPD would be in the RPM universe, which apparently is another timeline according to my theory. So what if SPD actually just takes place right after RPM? Takes place, decades after the aliens were coming to help Earth, after what happened with Vengeance, repopulating the Earth, giving us all this new technology and allowing us to have so many different teams of Rangers. I hope you get what I'm saying, right? The future in the SPD just looks so technologically advanced, and here we are in the year 2021 with Power Rangers Dino Fury. We're not seeing these aliens and the humans living together. Like, humans are still weirded out by aliens in their existence. Like they haven't been attacked for like 20 years. Come on, guys. We can live in peace with some of them. It's literally just not at the point where we'd see the universe be more like SPD in its time. We would see glimpses of this technology though, like in Beast Morphers with the Morph-X towers. We also saw some of the SPD weapons used there and RPM weapons used there as well. Also, Dr. K showed up. That was a thing. It would make sense for RPM to be turned into the SPD world, as aliens would come to Earth after the Vengeance take over to help the planet and make it a better place for everyone in space. And we already see Dr. K back in 09 in that era, or maybe like 09 and 2012. Power Rangers Samurai also kind of ruined things with that crossover. Like, is RPM taking place during the same time as Samurai? It's weird, But the point is that Dr. K was already making technology way advanced back then. Stuff that we wouldn't see in the Power Rangers main universe for many years to come. So it could mean that she had a first-hand experience pioneering the technology that we saw in New Tech City in the year 2025 in Power Rangers SPD. But hey, what do you think? Does SPD and RPM actually take place in the same universe? What do you guys think about this timeline thing? It was only recently after RPM where they were like assigning timelines to different series and whatnot. Dino Charge kind of did its own thing. I made a whole theory about that Dino Charge universe thing, by the way. It's all so confusing, right? Like, my brain literally hurts from talking about this. But regardless, let me know your thoughts, opinions, and other Power Rangers theories in the comments down below. Who knows? They might be in a future episode. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and thank you so much for Atlas VPN for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Don Fuego. I'm also on Instagram, Not Don Fuego. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're at, and of course, and as always, stay awesome, everybody. Like logging onto your Netflix account in the UK to watch Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty. Rick. Don't include that in the video.